Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Talk of the Titans, live from London, UK, all the way to the US of A and worldwide. I'm your host, Callum L, and this is Talk with the Titans. Oh, man. Tonight's show, we got my brother on the medicine, man, in the building. What's good?
What's popping? Peace to everyone. You know, we here, baby, we here. Sugar. You know, it's about that time again.
We live, baby. We live. We lit, baby. We lit. Oh man. Scholar, gang. I see you guys. I see the Scholar gang. Been hitting up those notifications. Make sure that they're tuned in. I love that. And I see you haters already. I see the haters. You know, I love my haters, Shout outs to my haters, yeah. The two thumbs you gave us down, I give you. We already know, like, those thumbs are just rising up right now. You see what I'm saying? We're like 8, 10. Come on, let's get to that 10. There we go. That's what I love, People are just loving it. I love it. So shout outs to the haters and shout outs to those who had mad love for us. Kiss Spence in the building, Betty in the building, 3D Worldwide in the building. Oh man, Dionysus Finch in the building, Extremely Balanced. Oh gosh. Hey, Per Nature Research Center, I know you sent me something still. Listen, if you are up and you want to jump onto the live stream, my brother, you got the opportunity to jump onto the live stream. I'm going to make up some space for you. Let me just holler at you. Now I'll message you on Facebook still. Yeah. So what we saying, Gabs? What we saying?
Nah, man, I'm here, man. I heard it was a good show last night. I missed out. Damn. Stressed, I had some duties to take care of, had some duties. But it is what it is. Excuse me. I heard it was a good show though, man. You know what I mean? So I'm just here now to see what's popping, see what dialogue we can get into and see what the people love, see what the people want.
Jeez. Oh man. You know what? Because my Facebook thing is playing now. Let me just send in the quick. Ooh, what's this? Oh, I just messed up. All right, let me just send him the quick link via here. If he wants to jump in, come and jump in, family. Come and jump in. Y'all want to talk? Come talk with us. Walk with us. See what we see and then talk with us. So, yeah, somebody was hitting me up. I wish I could grab the message. Maybe they're tuned in right now. They said something like, we should do a debate between whoever and who, have a debate about which system is best for the people. Is it the Kemetic system that's best or another religious system that's best? What is actually best for the people? And to me, it's a no-brainer. What's actually best. Oh, God damn. We got my brother Bilal in the building. What's good, King?
What's happening, bro?
Oh, man, we're here. Okay. I'm seeing that the messages are coming through. Notification gang, let me know if your emails have just dropped or your messages have just dropped, because I'm seeing it's dropping on my phone right now. So that's good. We got Harry Singh in the building, of course. And shouts to Respect and Jedi and them, and they're doing their thing as well. Where we at, man? Where we at? Let me just make sure that everything is good. Yeah. So I wanted to know, what is, since we've got 3 different traditions on the panel right now, I wanted to know, what is the defining principle that sets, I didn't want to say that set, the other traditions apart, but what is the key defining principle that can help to better your life and everybody else's life that your tradition teaches? It's fundamental principle. So I'm going to start over with my Bilal. Just state your tradition and what is the fundamental principle that it teaches that you think can help everybody.
Yes, so my tradition is Islam, and the fundamental principle which I believe can help everyone would be mercy. So the idea of mercy runs very deeply in Islam.
That's sweet. I like that. Indeed. We have, the Prophet. We have Allah. One of the first names of Allah was Ar-Rahman, and then You know, the prophet was sent as a mercy to all mankind as well. So I like that. So it definitely does teach mercy. And I think if we all had mercy on each other, you know, and was a bit more kind, a bit more generous, a bit more yielding to each other, you know, the whole world could possibly be a better place. I like that. Mercy.
Can I just say a little something about mercy?
Go ahead, King.
Yeah, because what it is, it's always translated as mercy because in English, that's the nearest thing you have to the word rahmah, which is the Arabic word rahmah. And if you go into the etymology of what rahmah actually is, it's linked to the womb. The word for womb is rahm. So on a linguistic level, this idea of rahmah is the idea of the universal womb. And it's that type of vibration that rahmah is. So the
Careful,
idea
King.
is like just how the womb sort of sustains and nurtures. This is the idea of rahmah. Whereas when I think of like just the word mercy in English, it doesn't quite seem to encapsulate it, because mercy could be like, well, I could take this, but I won't. But like rahmah, you know, it's the idea of warmness and love and nurturing and everything like that.
Jeez, that's powerful. You know, that's powerful. Be careful, Bilal. Be careful before you get these other ones just jumping down your throat. That is, you know, yeah, that's what's so beautiful about it. You know, when you know the language from a linguistic standpoint, you know, it really enriches your understanding and your conceptualization of certain abstract concepts, and you can feel it more. You're much more in tune with it. Would you say so?
Most definitely, most definitely. Yeah, I mean, if we had time, we could discuss for 1 hour the word rahmah. You know, what does it mean? Like, we break it down on an etymological level. We can go deep on that. We could talk easily for more than 1 hour, 2-3 hours, just on what is rahmah. You know, and obviously you've got the concept of the womb. So when I translate Rahman or Rahma, I always translate it as wombfulness. This is how I personally understand the word Rahma, which is translated as mercy. I understand it as wombfulness. Wombfulness doesn't exist in English, but that's the idea in the word Rahma.
Yes, that's beautiful. That is actually beautiful there. You know, and quickly, let me just give a quick shout outs to Sylvia. Yes, Sylvia Brosco. You know, saying Ja Rastafari. Don't know. As you lot can see, she's donating. Oh, I think it's a she. I'm gonna believe it's a she. So thank you for donating, family. Donated some nice money to us. Thank you. You actually help us to keep the show going. You know, and if you want to donate as well, please hit the super chat button down below. It definitely helps to keep the lights on. Okay. As well, you already know, man, I'm rocking that Hustler Far Right t-shirt right now. If you look, you know, you don't need to just start jumping on the wave. You know, Hustler Far Right, you know, my brother's brought his brand and it is beautiful, it's perfect. And I think anybody you know, who's entrepreneurial minded and conscious at the same time, yeah, this brand is for you. If you're a true hustler, yeah, you're there to get your bread, there to get your money up, there to be you know, initiative, be there to be creative. Like, this brand is for you, representing 100%, and you already know Rastafari. Right, but if y'all don't know what Rastafari is, let me just give you a quick breakdown of, you know, the Ghanese language. Obviously, we're talking about, let me leave Rast for a little bit, but the Tafari, you know, it literally means to be inspired by awe, and usually to be inspired by awe is literally to have respect yet fear. You know, it's respect yet fearful. So them times there, you know, you gotta respect. Y'all gotta respect a hustler. Y'all gotta respect an entrepreneur, and at the same time, have a little bit of awe and fear, because boy, you don't want an entrepreneur to get. Anyways, I'm joking. Just trying to play with the words, you know. All right, so let's get it going. Get going. Where you at, Harry? Man, where you at, Harry? Come on, King.
I'm here, G. I'm here.
Oh man. So tell me something about Sikh. You know, what is one of its fundamental principles that can and does set it apart from every other tradition?
Yeah, so Sikhi, I would put it in under you know, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. We can put it under the Abrahamic religions. or the Abrahamic faiths. Sikhi we can put into the Dharmic faiths, which are more Eastern type of philosophies. And I agree with what the Muslim brother said previously. That compassion, mercy, these are the things that are these are the principles that people really need to work on. But throughout Sikhi, the Guru says, um, you shall attain peace doing seva is selfless service. So the difference between, I would say, the biggest one is in the Abrahamic faiths, they sort of focus more on worshiping the Creator, but in the Eastern philosophies, we're more on, let's say, treating humanity right. So the Guru doesn't just say you should be like this. He also says don't be like this. So he says be compassionate, be loving, be merciful, but he also tells us what not to get trapped into, such as the five demons, or the five thieves, which are lust, anger, greed, pride, and attachment. And the biggest one's your ego. Once you get rid of these, compassion, mercy, love, all these things, they naturally flow into you. So yeah.
Jeez, I like that. I like that. So you saying, Gabs, give me something and give me a big fund. Tell me your tradition. Give me a nice fundamental principle. Still,
Yeah, man. My tradition is African philosophy and culture, and my fundamental principle is my art. You know, you're dealing with truth, righteousness, balance. You know, reciprocity, as love. It encompasses a lot of things. So yeah, my art is what I go by, and I try to live my art.
that my lifestyle, baby. That my addict lifestyle. I love it. I love it. I don't know, Pio, you there?
Yes, I'm there, but I just came in, so and I saw the topic. There was. Tell me please again. Perhaps I can say something to it.
Science versus belief, baby. How to build a better future. What I would
Yeah.
like to know from you is this. Do you have any a particular tradition or philosophy that you abide by? And what would you say is one of its defining principles?
Belief. That's the funny things. I always tell people I'm an atheist, but I tell them I'm always a Jew. So because I think the Jewish tradition has a very good philosophy. It's some kind different to the other Abrahamic religions, but I don't want to get in detail now. It allows to see things out of the box, not to follow strictly the book, So if it allows me to learn the Kemetic way of thinking, and this is why I'm here. So if the understanding, if I am able to understand the Kemetic philosophy, and I can describe my philosophy or explain to you, and when we can find some similarities, then we can build a better future. Simple.
Perfect. I had something written up earlier on, and let me actually quote something. Should I share my screen or quote it? Share my screen or quote it? Share my screen or quote it? Let's see. Y'all let me know. What should I do? Share my screen or quote it? You let me know. Y'all be decision.
Drop the quote, man. Drop the quote.
All right, cool. So what I'm gonna do right here is just share my screen and drop the quote at the same time. So, this is it right here. So I don't know if any of you guys are actually clued up in one of our Afrocentric great scholars. He's actually French, called Bilolo. Ubang Binje Biololo. Now, if you ever go onto Simon Hotep's channel, you know, he's heavily featured on there. He goes in on the Negro Egyptian roots or the African roots of the Kemetic language and how it's all tied into the remainder of the African continents and what languages they also speak as well. So powerful individual. But he breaks down what our fundamental concept is, which is Ma'at. You know, when people really ask, you know, what is your religion? What is your, whatever you follow? We usually say Kemetic philosophy, but really and truly, it's really Ma'at. But you know, when you keep that which is sacred secret, you don't really drop it down to everybody because, you know, I don't want y'all to disrespect it like that. But the fundamental concept, he says, yeah, the concept of Ma'at is a place of articulation of three ideals, namely the ideal of knowledge, that is to say, the love of science, the aspiration for knowledge, and more precisely, for the knowledge of true being, of that which is true, sure, and certain. The second articulation is the moral ideal of truth, justice, and rectitude. And the third one is the metaphysical ideal of love and the knowledge of being, which is at the beginning of all beings, of all being, should I say? No, of all beings, really. Yeah. And it was, you know, I read that quote today in particular, and it struck me so well because it's really an articulation of when we give you guys our Kemetic creed. We usually give you guys a Kemetic creed, right? And one of the first principles in the Kemetic creed, there's usually 7 of them that we list out. We go through gnosis, theology, cosmology, anthropology, pedagogy, ethics, and eschatology. But the very first one, which kind of surmises the everything basically, is gnosis. Gnosis literally means knowledge or coming to know. Knowing, or the process of actually coming to knowledge. And I think that's one of our fundamental principles that we deal with, where the majority of other systems tend to deal with faith. You must believe in such and such to make it to heaven. You must, say such and such to make it to wherever you need to go to. Belief. You always have to believe in something. And one of the, let me just mute everybody's mic real quickly. One of the perfect thing about it over here in the Kemetic system or the Ma'atic system, it's you need to know. Gone are the years where we deal with beliefs. We've been believing in, Jesus returning for the last 2,000 years. And where has that gotten us? We've been believing for a better future for the last 400 years, last 100 years after slavery, etc. But where has that actually gotten us? Where other communities are actually dealing with knowledge. The Chinese are dealing with sciences and technology. The Europeans are doing the same thing, and so forth and so forth. But what are we at, and how can we progress ourselves? And that's why I love the principle of Ma'at, which is really and truly science, knowledge, getting to know something, and obviously getting to know something, that's the first level. And that knowledge is knowledge of self. And then the second knowledge is the knowledge of the cosmos. And then the third knowledge is the knowledge of, the first cause. How did this universe come into being, which some people say God, which is our theos or our theology. So, that principle itself is such a fundamental principle that I think we should all get to know. We should all get to know because we all need it to come to truth. We all need Ma'at to make it somewhere or to get into a position of knowledge and knowing and be in a position of actually being right. So now I'm going to open it up. Actually, let me see, Mr. Pocket Rocket, what are you saying, King?
Yeah. Peace to the family. What's good? First time on this thing. I feel honored. Kalam, Gabs, Bilal, and everyone else. Blessings and love, man.
Let's get it in. All right, Salim, I want to open up and I want to have some discussions flowing. And I actually want to drop some science of you guys as well. So, I'm going to leave it open right now. So just jump first. P.O., the mic is yours, man. Go ahead.
I think the funny point about truth, the truth is not depend on someone's opinion. Yeah, the truth that stands for itself. So we have to find out what is the truth, but we cannot, by claiming it, our truth is the truth. We have to find out together what the truth is. That for the moment.
So yeah, let me come in. When you say we've got to find out what the truth is, what truth is that? What truth are you speaking of?
For example, how the universe came to existence. Yeah, there are many opinions how it did, but I would go with science. Yeah, and but to understand, first I have to understand the other position. Why somebody's claiming, even if it's not even, no matter which belief. Yeah, I have to find out why he is believing this. Then I can talk with him about it, but I will always stick to the science. And yeah, the truth stands for alone. So, for example, if you have some moral codes, and the truth is contradicting your moral codes, are you able to make the step to accept it, even if it's against your moral beliefs or something like this? Because there is no absolute truth. The absolute truth exists only in mathematics. Okay, I will say everything. Everything you can prove in mathematics, I will accept as a truth. Okay, but this is very, very. It's sometimes it's not what you like. Yeah, because the truth can be something that is not common sense. If, for example, science discovered something that contradicts your common sense, most people will say, no, that cannot be, or have issues with it. Okay? So the truth must, in my opinion, it has to be demonstrated. Okay? Not just saying, oh, this book says so, or this book says so. Yeah, it must be proved.
Yeah, I kind of hear you, and I want to get back to the point you made about can you accept a truth if it goes against your moral code? if you have trouble accepting something because it goes against what your moral code, so to say, or what you believe in, then to me personally, you have an ego problem, you know, and you have an insecurity problem as well. And if we look into the Kemetic philosophy, a big proverb or a main proverb is know thyself, knowledge of self, inner peace, inner balance. You know, once you have harnessed and you hone these qualities within you, then you'll be more open and you'll be more susceptible to the truth. It wouldn't be a big battle in order to accept the truth. You know, the truth is something which can't be refuted. So yeah, that's what I've got to say on that ground.
But it is a problem if you're grow up in a special place, yeah, where people told you that what you think is logical, and what the other people are telling you is not. So even if you are in the opinion of yourself, like me, and it happened many times, I was thinking, I know the truth. And then I met someone else who have a different kind of thinking in different ways. First, I have to understand why he's thinking like this. Yeah. at the end it will be the truth, but I think it's very difficult to think that all people are thinking logically. That's my point.
I think most people definitely don't think logically. And for me, when I say there is a problem, when I say they need medicine, people need medicine, for me, the medicine is logic. For me, I'm just being real with you. Most people have no concept or no understanding of logic and lack the ability to reason. You know, as you lot quite rightly said, you know, you could have, you know, overwhelming evidence of something put in your face. But regardless of that, if your ego will tell you, like I don't care. I don't care.
Exactly.
The box will tell you smoking kills.
Yeah.
The box tells you smoking kills. The box tells you smoking gives you lung cancer. No. I know more somehow. I know more. And you take that toll. So for me, the sickness, you know what, yeah. And I'll be real with you. I'm guilty, you know. I put my hands up. I'm guilty. And I say we all have a sickness.
You all are, man.
We're all suffering from mental illness, but it's just undiagnosed. There's so many different diseases that's been placed upon us via, you know, society, via our family, whatever else, TV, whatever else there is here that's been placed upon us. We don't even know that we're suffering from these diseases, you know. We don't even know. Trust me. Like, I'm going to be on my vegan diet. I fully well know meat ain't good for you. But Lord God, have you smoked jerk chicken before? Who smoked jerk chicken? God damn it. Damn it. I know it's not good for me. I know I shouldn't be eating it, but God damn it, I love the taste of it. Okay, King.
Yeah, let me read out a modern adaptation of an ancient Kemetic proverb. And you might be quite familiar with this one. It's called Know Thyself. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. Teach them. A person who knows not and believes that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. A person who knows and knows not that they know is asleep. Awaken them. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All of these persons reside in you. Know thyself, and to ma'at, be true. Now, the reason why I bring that up is that to me is the last bit. All of these persons reside in you. Know thyself, ma'at, be true. You might have to correct me or come in at some point, Kalam, but in my research and studying of ancient Kemetic belief and schools of thought as well, they believed that they had a person had multiple disciplines of self. I've got that in another Robin Walker book up there somewhere. You know, we had the car, the bar, things like that. You know, and in order to become balanced, in order to become one, we have to discipline and harness all of these schools, all of these individuals, all of these ways of thinking, ways of acting that reside within us, you know, to become balanced. And I think it's a constant process, it's a constant journey, because, you know, we're living life, as you know. And yeah, so to me, it's just all about taking these teachings, consistently analyzing yourself, looking at who you are, going through a journey of self-progression, and trying to become a more balanced version of you.
Yeah, I'd like to pick up what Jason's saying. That was a good little reading that you did just before. You know, that's also coming out one of the great books, you know. Now Valley Contribution to Civilization, good book. Yeah, I see it, brother. There you go. Trust me. But yeah, it's true. And to piggyback what you were saying, as yeah, we do have these tests every day. I think that we've been put here in this form to go through a test. Do you know what I mean? We go through tests at different stages in our life. You know what I mean? As a child going into school, you have your first tests. You have your test in school. Your first test when you test their patience. Says don't do this, and then you do that. You know, the first test. Everything we go through in our life is a test. So for me personally, I think the ultimate goal is the test of how we operate in this physical body, and how we analyze situations that we get in our day-to-day lives. Because every day you can say at least one sort of test, one test in whatever shape or form comes to us, where we have to make a decision, and depending on the decision we make, gives the outcome of the test. Do you see what I'm saying? So I think understanding ourselves and being able to use the wisdom and knowledge that's within us already. So it's already built within us. Like we know what's right and wrong. We know, you know what I mean? When a scenario comes in front of us, we know how we should handle it. Do you know what I mean? We actually do know deep down the end goal, but sometimes the ego or surroundings or friends or family sometimes take us off the path of knowing what's right. So I think overall, by us understanding ourselves and dealing with the tests in the right way, ultimately we can get to that level of knowing thyself, and also being that getting to that high state of consciousness, that Christ consciousness, or that God consciousness on earth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the same way, if I have to use a film for example, Neo had to go through certain tests.
Yeah.
Once Neo passed these tests, he became the one. You see what I'm saying? The simple analogy, the same with Anakin Skywalker. He had to pass these tests. Once he passed these tests, you know what I mean? He defeated evil, the dark side. So everybody goes through the tests. Yeah, that's what I got to throw in there.
No, that's cool. That's, and again, I agree 100% on that one. I can't refute. I've got nothing else to add to it. Again, to come off what my man Gabs just said as well. Like I do my evening study of this book, and I was actually reading the 42 negative confessions, you know, and I said to myself, you know what, let me actually go through these and find out how I measure up against them, you know, and the results are shocking. Out of 42, yeah, only 6 of them only 6 of them actually apply to me, you know. So that means my heart is extremely heavy, you know, extremely heavy. And a question I wanted to ask Kalam or Gabs on this question is, if someone has done certain things off of these negative confessions or these 42 admonitions of my heart, what can we do, or what can they do to rectify them, or to change their ways, you know, so their heart becomes a lot more balanced? Or is there forgiveness in that sense?
You want me to answer that, Comfort? I can go ahead.
Go ahead, Gabs. Go on. You go ahead, then I'll go after.
All right. Me personally, you know what I mean? The first, you should just see it as your everyday thing. Like I said, everyday test. Like, you know, for instance, if you're working a job and you know, your manager tells you to do something and you don't do it, and you get a disciplinary or whatever, not, you know exactly what happened. You know the reason why you got that disciplinary, and you know that it's down to yourself to make it right. So the forgiveness comes in yourself. So once you pick yourself up and start moving right again, automatically your manager will see the improvement and accept the forgiveness. Even though they won't say, your manager, you won't say, oh, I forgive you for what you've done. they might praise you and say, all right, I can see you're making some progress. In hindsight, it's basically like saying, I forgive you. So you know that something wrong. You know the way to make it right. So the same way, if you was to upset your parent as a child, yeah, you upset your parent and your parents upset with you. You know, to make mommy happy or daddy happy, I might have to do you know what I mean? To get on the good side, I might have to buy mommy and daddy a present. I might have to rub mommy's back, rub daddy's feet. You see what I'm saying? So you know and then obviously by doing these things, your parents will say, okay, do you know, okay, I forgive you for what you've done. So at the end of the day, I think it's we know the best way. The best way is to pick yourself up, and make the situation better. The same way dealing with science and testing, get wrong, but you don't just stop there, because every time they failed, we wouldn't have most of the equipment that we have today. You see what I'm saying? So the aim is build yourself up and trying to push yourself to be the best that you can. And the forgiveness is always there. It's not something that someone needs to tell you. You know what I mean? You can grant stuff. You can by your actions, the forgiveness will come to you, and then you feel at peace in yourself. That's how I take it. And sorry, just to go back to something, because I saw someone in the chat room ask, who gave us the test and why do we need a test and all this stuff? Who's it for? The question is, the test is for yourself. You know what I mean? People saying that who's it for? It's not for no one. It's for yourself. You see what I'm saying? Because you know, if you do wrong things in our society, you know where you can end up. You know what I mean? You could end up in prison. You ending up in prison can have a domino effect on your family, your friends. Do you know what I mean? You don't know the stuff that you would have missed out on, the opportunities you could have had. You know what I mean? Different things while life is going on that you're not a part of now, because obviously you're behind bars. So at the end of the day, the test is for yourself. You are the test. It's not for no one else. It's all about you. And this is why it's about knowing yourself and mastering yourself. Because remember, but like people say, especially from the religious point of view, at the end of the day, when it comes to judgment day, who's the one that's getting judged? It's you, innit? It's yourself. You're not going to have 20 other men next to you being judged. You're not going to have your cousin and your auntie and your mum and your sister's best friend next to you. It's just going to be you by yourself. You won. So at the end of the day.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for that. Again, powerful breakdown, bro.
I was going to give a little breakdown myself. Like, I don't, Gabs gave it to you the sweet way. Yeah, I'm going to give it to you the African way. Are y'all ready for the African way? Let me know if y'all ready for the African way,
Drop
y'all
it,
ready
man,
for that proper judge way? Just let me know. Huh?
Let's go, man. Let's go. Let's wake some of these people.
Boy, right. If y'all in error, if y'all in fault, if y'all been practicing isfet, y'all need to actually give sacrifices. Y'all need to go and grab yourself a chicken, go and grab yourself a goat, go and grab yourself a cow, whatever it is. You grab yourself that animal and you need to offer a sacrifice. What do I mean by that? I'm making it sound spooky as hell, but I'm going to tell you why I'm saying it's spooky as hell. Number one, let me just share my screen just so I could demystify the spookiness now. First of all, our duty is to be in a state of peace, and if we're stepping outside of the boundaries or overstepping the boundaries of Ma'at, truth, justice, righteousness, and reciprocity, we should be getting back into that. We should be seeking a way to make amends, seeking a way to make peace. Okay, when the word hotep, which is the word for peace, literally means to rest, to be happy, to be content, to be glad, to do good, to someone to repose, to be at rest, or to go to rest, to set, etc., etc. That's the whole meaning right there. In the Coptic language is hutep, which literally means hotep, peace, yet again. So if you look here, you have three symbols right here. Okay, this one here is the symbol for hotep, which means peace. But you have here a stool, you have a half baked piece of bread, and then up here is a mat that has a little bit of drink on top. So in order to actually make amends for the things that you've done, okay, you need to offer somebody something. If you've made somebody cry, go and make them smile again. Counterbalance it. If you've offended someone, make sure you put it right with them. Make sure whatever it is, make the scales balance again. Do you know what I mean? Is there? If you understand that, make the scales balanced again. There's three ways, you know, we're supposed to be offering ma'at. If you actually know, there's three ways we're supposed to be offering ma'at, or three criteria or categories of beings we're supposed to be offering ma'at to, which the 42 admonitions or the 42 declarations of innocence falls into. The first one is to Necheru, or into Necheru, or the divinities themselves. The next one is to nature, about the birds, the bees, the animals, the insects, the ground, the grass, you know, the wind, everything like that is nature. And then the third way is obviously to our community, our people. We're supposed to be made right with them. You know, there's certain things within inside of the 42, you know, negative confessions that says, you know, you have not polluted the water. You have not polluted the water. So if you have polluted the water, what do you do to make that right again? What do you do to make that right? You simply have to now go and undefile the water and make sure the water is clean again. If you do something wrong, you can't just drop no milk on the floor and then just say, you know what, God, forgive me for dropping the milk on the floor, and just leave it there. What use is that? What good is that to anybody? You know, don't go crying over spilt milk. No, I'm going to cry over the spilt milk. I wanted the milk. Like, what are you talking about? Don't cry over spilt milk. I want my milk, you know? So you better go to the shops and buy the milk, and don't expect nobody else to clean up the milk on the floor for you. You go and clean up your mess. That's number one. You know, like the whole 42 declarations of innocence is to take you away from being dependent upon somebody else. You know, you can't, there's no, the shaitan made me do it, or Satan made me do it, or the devil made me do it. Nothing like that. There is nothing like that within the Kemetic philosophy. There ain't no devil making you do anything. There is only you. You know, you are your downfall. You are the cause of your success as well. Yet being dependent upon, obviously, everything else within inside of nature, but you are dependent upon those things. So you need to make sure you make it right. You make it right with nature. You make it right, you know, with the people that you've offended, and you also make it right with inside of yourself and with the Necheru itself. So when I'm saying to you, you need to offer a sacrifice, it's clearly that you need to offer something to somebody else, offer something to nature that it never had, or you went wrong with inside of nature, and you need to give it to them. You need to do the act of reciprocity. You need to give back to nature what it originally had, but give it back to nature in a much more enriching way.
May I go?
Yeah, thank you for that, man. Thank you for that animated, what do you call it, breakdown. Thank you. Another question which I had is, how comes some of the confessions are repeated twice? I think one, two, three, yeah, 4 of them are repeated twice. How come that is so? Should I tell you which ones?
Yeah, I keep muting my mic. Which numbers are you saying is it repeated?
Yeah, I've got number 21. I have not defiled the wife of I have not defiled the wife of any man. That's 20 and 21. They're the same. I have not transgressed. Number 24.
You're saying 20 and 21
Yeah.
is the same thing.
Yeah.
And you say it says I have not
defiled the wife of any man.
Okay. And the next one?
Number 24. I am not
21.
Oh, 21. Exactly the same thing. I have not defiled the wife of any man.
I've got maybe my book is a bit messed up. I think that's 19 and 20 in my book over here. Let me just get my book.
I've got another source as well on them, bro. One sec.
Yeah, Gab. So you're saying, G, break the silence a little bit, if you can.
Yeah, I'm there. Can you hear me?
Look, yeah.
Yeah, I was waiting for Jason to break down the other ones that he said I said twice.
Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And then 21.
Oh, your Gabs, remember that guy, that name Jason's long gone, bro.
Yeah, snap. Coyote, sorry, bro.
No. All right. So, I do have another source here, and it does differ to what it says in the Anthony Browder's book. I mean, shall we bring up another point? Then we can discuss it a bit further. So the show can continue a bit, or shall we?
Okay, so I've seen. I'm not going to talk on the one that you're talking about, but I think if it is what I'm thinking about, it basically says it may have repeated in the English translation, but the first one basically talks about doing adultery. So I have not slept with another woman's wife. That's the. I'm not going to say which one it is until I bring up my source. But one of them speaks upon sleeping with another person's wife, and then the other one is talking about sleeping with another man's girl, which literally means another man's daughter. So it's fornication. So one is adultery and the other one is fornication. One is sleeping with the wife, and then one is just having premarital sex, basically.
Right. Okay. I mean, boy, because I got another confession here, or admonition, number 11, saying that I have not committed fornication.
Mm-hmm.
So would that be the same as the adultery one?
What number are you looking at?
I've got number 11 in the Nile Valley Contribution to Civilization.
Okay. So number 11. I'm trying to go to the actual text itself rather than English translation. So just bear with me until I find it.
No, that's cool, man. That's cool. Yeah, like I said, I read this book. I try and do about
what number is it on his one?
His one, number 11.
And what's the other one? 11 and
no. That one, that fornication one, that one isn't repeated twice.
Okay.
I'm just saying that for the reason you brought up.
Mm-hmm. And there's another one.
All right. Okay. So forget that one. So
go on, what's the second one that you got there?
Yeah, second one I've got is I have not transgressed.
I have not transgressed.
Yeah, that's I've got number 24 in the Nile Valley Civilization one.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to and number 14. I'm not transgressed.
And they both say I have not transgressed.
Yeah, both the same one.
Okay.
I was gonna say from what I've got, the number 14 is obviously I have not attacked any man. Yeah, that's number 14. And the 24, it says I have not transgressed.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Not attacked anyone. Doesn't transgress mean to be violent, doesn't it?
To be
or
what?
Rude? Does it mean to be violent or rude? Transgression, doesn't it? Okay.
So what number is? Say the number again.
I've got number 14 and number 24.
So 14.
I am not transgressed.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
It means to break
let's
a
see.
law. To break a law
Yeah.
means to transgress.
Ya taret per achech and te'aha. Okay. So yeah, one says I have not transgressed. Go ahead. And the next one is number 24, right?
Yeah, it's exactly the same thing. Yeah. Again, sorry to put you on the spot like this, Kalam, bro, but I didn't. Obviously, I didn't mean to, but just got a couple questions, really.
So one of them is saying I have not transgressed, and the other one says I have not committed an offense. I've not committed an offense.
All right.
So there is just like these slight peculiarities in the meaning. And I wish I could just pull up the hieroglyphs for you so you can actually see it. And it's always good. This is why we should actually learn the language as well, The language is key. Let me just get it up and bring it up. Okay. And the other one was 20 and 21, right? You were saying?
Yeah, 20 and 21 both say I have not defiled.
I have not defiled a wife of a woman.
The wife of any man.
The other one, defile the woman of a man, basically. So it's just very slightly changed. So one is talking about I've not defiled the wife of a man, and another one is talking about I've not defiled a woman or a female of a man. So it's a very slight change that has a big difference. I
hear you. Listen, something I've literally just seen as to why some of them are repeated twice is because this list of the negative confessions is taken from what's his name's book? Wallace. What's his name? Wallace B. Judge. I can't remember what his name is.
Budge.
Yeah, Budge. That's the one. One of your Budge's book, and a few scholars have actually gone up against him and his teachings and his research and what he's found out. So there could be, and obviously he's the one that translated the one version of Book of the Dead. So he could have translated it wrong, So I think at some point you might have to leave this for now, and then at some point we all, or us three, link up or whatever, or whoever, and discuss this furthermore. I mean, what's your sources on these 42 negative confessions?
So I did a video on this a while ago, and it's all the 42 negative confessions, and it discusses the faults in Wallace's Budge's translation. I'm actually trying to just bring it up. Well, not bring that up, but bring up. So, for example, let me just share my screen. You know me, I like source material. So quickly, I get my stuff from the British Museum.
Trust me.
So can you see that?
Oh yeah. I remember watching this actually.
I didn't get time to go through every single one. I think I only gone through like 5 or 6 of them, which was crazy. Which was crazy. I only got through like 5 or 6 because it's a lot. Because it's reading the hieroglyphs, transliterating them, giving the meaning, and giving a deeper meaning as well. Because more time when we do the 42 negative confessions, we don't view it like this, or the 42 declarations of innocence. Okay, we don't usually view it like this. We only read what's down here. I know you can't even see the difference, but what's being addressed is 42 different natures, or 42 different deities, or 42 different emanations of the one divinity, okay, which represent each nome within side of Kemet, or each major city and temple. So every city has a temple, and it has a particular nature that rules that temple. And each one of these negative confessions or declarations of innocence is basically addressing each and every single one of them. Okay, let me see if I could just zoom in a bit more. as you can see here, we have, I don't want to get too technical. I just want to do really quickly with you. So over here, we have this little circle that's really an X in the middle as well. This is in the form of cursive hieroglyphs. So this isn't hieroglyph proper, but it's actually cursive hieroglyphs. So it's very technical to be able to read this, because we usually learn hieroglyphs, but then the cursive hieroglyphs is like a next form, which you have to learn as well, because most of the papyruses are written in cursive hieroglyphs. But every single place here, you see this little circle with the X circle and X circle and X. It basically represents a city or a nome, basically. And, you know, you're addressing, when you're doing this over here, you can see there is basically like a reed. I know you can't even see the reed here, but it's basically a reed here and a man stretching out his arms. And it basically means Yah or oh, you know, like, yo, wagwan, my lord, wagwan, G. So you're basically saying yo, and then you're addressing the person, okay? The person. And this one here is dressing a particular nature right now. So you're actually addressing, the word here is wasek or usek. So you have the you know, I don't want to do this, but you basically have the real quick, you basically have the quail or the chick right here, and that represents the vowel, or the vowel of u. And then you have here the S. Unfortunately, it's actually written, it's, you have to know, again, like, it's very technical. So when you're reading the hieroglyphs, you read into the faces of the animals and plants and the people and the body parts that it's facing. So because the bird is facing this way, you read into it. But it's very tricky, because they've actually squeezed this symbol up here, which is a placenta, to mean K. They squeezed it in. Really and truly, it should be down here or somewhere else. But because of the space, because there's usually little square blocks where you write everything in, they kind of messed it up, but I can still read it and let you know that says usek, okay? And you have here, you know, wide of stride, basically. So as you can see here, it's got legs, basically legs that you see here. And it basically means to be wide stride, or to have wide legs, so to speak, or to be able to walk very far and very fast, basically. So it's like wide strider, you know, and then you have here per, and that means coming, and it's and you're coming forth, per m or perma, coming forth from one of the most famous cities, which is Heliopolis right here, which is Anu right here. Okay, so 42 negative confessions or the 42 declarations, we never address the deities. We're just simply saying, I have not committed isfet, I have not, you know, taking another man's wife and so forth. But the proper way of actually doing it is actually reading out the complete verse, and not just simply taking out haven't done. So you actually meant to address a deity here, or a nature, or a divine principle, O wide strider, coming forth from Anu. So you're addressing, so from a mental picture, you're literally going from, you know, Egypt all the way down to the south of Egypt, or from the south of Egypt all the way up to the north, basically. And you're addressing every single nome in Egypt, and let in the whole of Egypt know, yeah, that you are not a person that commits any type of wrong. That's the type of mentality that you need to have. So if we're doing it from a modern sense, like, you know, like, you can literally learn every single country that there is. There's roughly around 55, 54 countries in Africa, and you could literally, you know, choose one of the divine principles in there and make the same statement. Oh, such and such, you know, coming forth from Sudan, coming forth from Egypt, coming forth from Ghana, coming forth from Nigeria, coming forth from Congo, I have not committed any wrong. So down here, it says here, you know, you can't really see it again, but you have arms that's outstretched, facing downwards, which literally means no, or it's a negative, it's a negative proposition, basically, to say not have I, or not did I do something, or I haven't done nothing, or I have forbidden something. And you're basically saying, you've forbidden what? What have you forbidden? Every single one of them literally states what you have forbidden. Okay, what have you forbidden? So this one here says nu. Okay, ari. Okay, so you've forbidden something here. Not have I made. The word ari literally means to make, to do something. It's the some people might know illah, or yeah, to illah something, to basically, or to be an illah, or to make something, to be a god basically. That's kind of like the meaning of God right here, a maker, or a divine force that has done something. Okay, or if you Arabic, for those who know a little bit of Arabic, you have the preposition which is illah, to move towards something, and then you also have the term illah, or Allah, means a deity as well. And obviously the eye, every single human being is a remech, or an eye drop, or a tear from the creator, proceeding forth from the creator. And we have the same essence of the creator to be a maker of things. Okay, and that's what it's basically saying here, that I have not done something here. Okay, and what is it telling that you have not done? The word here is and then it's a plural as well. So esfetu, or asfut. And it's basically saying, I have not committed any evil or wrongdoing or anything like this. The tantamount of what it is to be, you're basically saying you have not done all of that. Full stop. But let me just count real quickly, because I don't want to just spend so much time on this, because again, it's a whole breakdown that can take place. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So what numbers was it again that you was talking about?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it was 24. Which one's the transgression one?
Yeah.
All right.
The one to do with the female, not having sex with a female, etc.
All right, there. That was 20 and 21.
Yeah. So if I'm right, I think it is right here basically. So you see that the symbols up until this point basically looks the same. Here looks the same, but there's basically this extra symbol right here.
All right.
And then you have the phallus symbol here, which is spilling the seed, basically. So that's the subtle difference, basically, within the translation, or within inside the hieroglyphs, that unfortunately Budge didn't account for. So most people, that's what I'm saying. Like, when people talk about Egyptology, when people talk about Kemet, like Kemet is actually, let me just come out of this real quickly. So Kemet, for us, like who study Kemet, like, or Kemetology, like you can call it Kemetology between us. We have our study sessions, yeah. We make a stark difference between what Egyptologists are saying and what we are saying as African-centered scholars or African-centered researchers, because we don't merely take what the Egyptologists say. Like the Egyptologists will give you a translation, or whatever the case is, and we're like, okay, you say that, but now let's go, because they will insert, like, my brother Smash Rockwell, Amon Ross Squad, Magi, arrows up, like, you have, I think there was he's not homosexual, what was he? He was a transgender. He liked to dress up in women's clothing, basically. Okay, and he basically translated one of the things within inside of the Kemetic things as to mean homosexuality was going on, basically, or there was promoting homosexuality, basically. And that was literally coming from a European's mind, looking at something. He was translating something, but he was looking at it, and he translated it as, this person is a homosexual, basically. That's the problem, because you got people from European-centered standpoint, looking at these African texts and translating it from a European mindset. Okay, then literally, like, you see the work what Smash Rockwell did. He went into it and saw what it says. Basically, it didn't actually say that the person was a homosexual. It was basically mocking the man, to saying like he was how can I say it? Literally, my language, like, you're a pussy. That's what it was saying. That he was very effeminate. This man was like not strong, not manly, but he was actually moving, like, literally the word there was a woman's female parts, but he was saying that the man was a female's part, basically insinuating that the man wasn't strong, wasn't masculine enough. He didn't want to fight for his honor. He actually wanted to take the role as a female and sit in the background, basically. So it's very like there's these little things that if you're not careful, Egyptologists will just trip you up. So it's our job to make sure that, you know, the elders have literally laid the path for us. They didn't have all of the access to, you know, the resources that we have access to, where we have the internet right now. Them and they had to literally travel from, you know, from America to go to the UK, to go to Berlin, to go to all of these different places to actually see these artifacts, to put it in their books and so forth. We have the luxury of having the internet, where if we want something, we can just, you know, go on the internet and find it. Or if we don't even have access to it, I'm in the UK, I'm sending the man there things to the British, from the British Museum. When Brother Polite went over into Egypt, Cairo, and all them places there, he was there, you know, going through the pyramid text, sending stuff over to us over here for his debate, sending stuff over, and we was helping him do the translations and all those things there. That's the beauty of it. We have these study sessions where we're all working together. You know, you could be in Canada, you could be in Africa, you could be in the UK, and we can all bring all our informations together to actually give a better and fuller understanding of the ancient Egyptian texts. I hope that helps, though.
Yeah, thank you for that, man. You went in. That was deep. So thank you very much for that. I mean, I've got so many questions about this book, you know, because as you know, I just study and I try and break it down. As best as possible. But I think my questions are going to take away from the actual of this live stream. So we can always.
You're good, bruv. You're good. These are stuff
sure?
that the people need. Yeah, bruv. These are stuff that people need. I'm pretty sure that I don't know about y'all, but I'm tired of religion like that. Every so often, you know.
All right.
Trust me, man. Usually the comment section is all about religion, all about that, and we're like, okay, we have to just address it. You know, the people are calling us, we have to address it. But otherwise, I'd rather talk about our own stuff, man. Talk about the problems that we do have, you know, right now in learning this stuff as well. What's good? We've even got Neche Nebin. God damn.
I've got something else for you, which is played on my mind as well. I just can't get my head around. All right. Happy. The
don't ask me that question, G.
Happy lecture associated with the Nile River, or the River Nile, sorry. Yeah, how comes he was portrayed as a elderly man with large flabby breasts? How? I don't get it.
Oh man, so y'all putting me on the spot, man. Neche Neb, you just come in.
I said we got to build off this. Do you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So we can always do that, man. It's nothing. It's nothing.
Hey, Neche Neb, where you at, King?
Kalam. You're lucky I'm not Saracen, you know. You're lucky I'm not Saracen.
Trust me. Hey, Neche Neb, I know you got that. You got the medicine for that one.
Hey, Neb, my like Neche Neb.
How y'all brothers doing?
Yeah, man. We're good, just building on this thing.
Damn. God damn.
Hey,
Man, I'm proud of
you
y'all,
gotta let
brother.
the people know that Neche Neb is a big titan, B.
Oh,
come on, bro.
Man, he's a monster, bro. Jeez, like, hey, I'm gonna shut up, man. And let the Saber teach. Yo, Saber teach, man.
You the Saber, y'all the Sabers. I'm enjoying y'all brothers in London, and y'all making me smile. Y'all doing the right thing, translating accurately. Very well, man. I just gotta say big ups to Titans TV.
Shout outs to my brother. Yeah. So just to quickly jump on the happy itself. Okay, so when you're looking at the Neche happy, what is it itself? What does happy actually symbolize? And I want somebody else to jump in, you know, because boy, I think my knowledge might just pale. But we know that happy literally means, or is the symbol
The Nile,
the Nile, and not just the Nile, it's a symbol of the Nile flooding as well. It's the actual symbol of the Nile flooding. So that means it's everything in excess. It's everything in excess. So when you see that big belly, okay, y'all know we're in this right now. You know, when you go into you see that in the temple sometimes you'll have how can I put it, statuettes. Okay, usually wooden statuettes of the priest, and some of them will have like that big round belly. You know that uncle belly right there. You know that belly right there that you know you've been yamming some good jollof, some good. You know you got the rolls on the back of your neck. Them uncles there, you like the 4 rolls on the back of the neck. Right there. That means you know that the missus has been cooking them that good pounded yam, and that shows that literally shows you know, your status of being so wealthy and so rich, because you actually have the opportunity to be fat, where everybody else is working in the fields, doing all that hard work. But that's you know, a mark or symbol of being so wealthy and rich, to be overflowing in everything that you actually have. So that's one of the meanings of you know, the whole round belly, the whole sagging, and all those things there. Another thing else is to do with fertility. That obviously represents fertility. Well, all of those meanings that's attached to it. There is a book. What book is it? Ancient Egyptian. I think it's the Ancient Egyptian Gods or something like that. I'm going to get it for you. I think it's something to do with the Ancient Egyptian Gods. And then there's another book called Reading Ancient Egyptian Art. Those are the 2 books that you need to get, and it will break down the symbology of happy in much more greater detail than what I've just basically said. But Chineb, if you wanted to add something to that, please do.
Oh, well, you pretty much summed it up. Kemetic inscriptions said the same thing in the inscriptions. When you translate the inscriptions, states about the color of the people as happy overfloods the Nile mud, which is Amat, keep things green, which is Ujet, and greenish, bluish, vegetable growth, fertility. The sagging breasts, like he said, is the indication of being fat, you being prosperous, feeding you. You growing your own food. When Hapi comes through the upper and lower regions, on the time of the flood, as you stated, it represented good feeding for the people as they harvest their crops, because of course Kemet, black fertile mud. So the brother summed it up. I really don't need to go in.
All right, and let me just quickly give a shout out to everybody who's donating as well. Charbo Debo has donated. Shouts to you. And again, Sylvia Brosco has donated again, I believe. So thank you for everybody who's supporting the channel, supporting the shows. Trust me, without you guys, I don't even know how I'll be paying the bills to do these shows right now. So give thanks and praise. All right. All right. So we say, man, let's open it up, fam. Let's open it up.
So let me just confirm what you two are saying. All right. So the whole large flabby breast thing, yeah, is that just to show like his moves, like his man breasts? Because what I'm trying to say is, they're not trying to portray a female breasts onto a man, right? It's just literally a male principal with large, well, yeah, pecs. Is that correct?
Well, I would say, dude, even if you do think it like that, you know, we Sebastian culture is a symbolic type of culture. You can't take things as when Europeans look at things, they look at things, well, not Europeans, all of them. I'm just stating that the Egyptologists gave an example of how Brother Jonathan Owens had to correct that view, Europeanized text and saying, oh, that's gay or something like that. So when we look at these principles that's on these people in an African worldview, you must look at all of the deities in an African type of mind. You see symbolically those representations on Hapi. So sometimes you can have female, for example, the pharaoh himself. You ever see representation of an Old Kingdom pharaoh of a cow. He is not saying, they're not stating that he's literally putting it in his mouth when a cow and sucking the milk from the cow. He's stating that the cow is the center point to his economy, and the cow, the cattle. Sure. So
Yeah. So,
my
Right.
mic, can y'all hear my mic?
Yeah, cut out.
cut out quite a lot.
Yeah.
Let me just show you anyway. Let me just see if I can grab some ancient Egyptian breasts so we can actually have a look. Because usually ancient Egyptian breasts are a little bit more perkier than what we're seeing of Happy. I don't know if you can see that down there. They're a little bit more perkier, you know, to kind of show, basically. Let's see. Over here as well, you know, you can see it's a little bit more perkier, okay? But then when we go to somebody like Happy, you know, right here, we can see it's just like drooping downwards. You know, we can see the little rolls looking like my belly right about now. You know, you can see those little, that little indent to show the rolls to say that he's a bit fat. He's got the man boobs gone. But it's not also to say, also represent fertility as well. You know, breast is infertility, but definitely not. I wouldn't surmise. I know some people would surmise that it's just to denote women, being a woman. But no, I wouldn't actually say that at all. I would say it's more to do with having abundance and, you know, technically linked in with fertility, but not actual fertility in terms of breast to actually be sucking on.
Oh, right. Thank you. Yeah, because I was very, very confused about that. Very, very confused. So, yeah, man, thank you to the young brothers for clearing that up as well. And yeah, I want to address, what's his name? P.O. left a question in the in our chat section quite a while ago, actually. At what age? P.O.'s question is, at what age do you do these confessions? Sorry for my ignorance. Nothing to be sorry about, bruv. You're asking questions. That's what we're here for, you know. So yeah, again, reading from this book as well. There's no age limit at any point. Sorry, at any point, when you have to do these confessions, you have to say these confessions when you're, obviously, when you pass away, when you transcend, and your heart is being weighed on the scale against the feather of Ma'at. All right. So it says in the book that the scale of Ma'at was attended to by the Necheru, Heru, and Ampu, who verify its accuracy. On the left-hand side of the balance was a vessel which represented the heart/soul of the deceased. And on the right balance was an ostrich feather, which represented Ma'at. And the principles of truth, justice, righteousness, and reciprocity. This symbolic weighing of the heart against the feather of truth was performed to establish the righteousness of the deceased. If the scale remained balanced after the recitation of the 42 declarations of innocence, it was an indication that the soul was righteous and deserving of its heavenly reward in the afterlife. The concept of one's heart being as light as a feather is derived from this ancient ritual. So it wasn't a case of you reach a certain age, now you have to say these confessions, like an initiation. It's when you transcended, right, and your heart was put on a scale against a feather of Ma'at, and then the 42 declarations would get recited, and then Asar would judge your heart based on that. So I hope that clears it up.
All right. Anybody else would like to add something to that?
I want to say, I asked this question because I don't know the procedure, because I thought if I would ask all or answer or say all this declaration, I would not look nice too. Yeah, I'm sure I will look as bad as everyone else. Okay, so I asked only before if I ask it because if a child should answer or say those things, it will be not fair. Okay, because a child have no empathy. Your empathy to other people or to all these things, your empathy grows with your age, so or with your experience. So you can make this confessions, yeah, only when you enter some other word or how you describe it, but not if you are a small child. That's why I asked this question.
All right. So, Gabs, do you want to say something or?
Yeah, I was gonna add something to Pio. Bro, yeah, it's basically the same like today. Like we have laws that, you know, certain laws in the world now that obviously as a child, you don't obviously you don't really know as a child, but obviously if your parents are obviously in the household teaching you the laws, obviously you learn about those laws for your parents, and then obviously as you get a bit older, you know, you go to school and stuff, and then you might maybe your teachers might mention a couple of the laws. They teach you a couple of the I know you get taught the road safety laws, and they try to teach you as much. So school is where you really start getting into the whole thing with laws and stuff. And obviously, as you grow and stuff in the community and the environment, understand the laws. You know what I mean? Because you start to hear, you know, if you're watching TV, you see court cases on things that's happened and that. So it's basically like today. So yeah, there's no difference. The same way young children grow up and learn the laws here is the same way they would have learned the laws back then as well.
Okay.
Real quickly, sorry, I was trying to message Dow Digital, see if you wanted to come onto the show. So yeah, for me, I don't. Okay, these for me aren't actually laws, and they're not actually confessions. In the very much how can I put it? In the sense that we think of laws and confessions, these are declarations of innocence. And I think you would have to be a particular age in order to actually recite these particular declarations of innocence. And definitely it's not to do with children. It's definitely to be somebody who's come of age. Usually speaking, you would have to be an initiate. I would definitely surmise that you would have to be an initiate within some type of system in order to know what are these things. Because in Kemet, we did not deal with beliefs, we did not deal with ignorance. We had to be in the know. And before you can actually recite declarations of innocence, you would need to know what it is to be virtuous. Okay, because in these declarations of innocence, you're actually stating what you have not done and what you will not do. If that makes any sense, it's what you have not done and what you will not do. And if you know what not to do, you must also know what to do. And we have something called the declarations of virtues. Technically speaking, we tended to recite the declarations of virtues prior to actually reciting the declarations of innocence. And when you come into KMTS, you definitely learn the process. So for example, you would be taught, we talk about in our Kemetic creed, the sixth principle, the sixth foundational thing that we build on is called ethics. Ethics and the 42 negative confessions, or the 42 declarations of innocence. First of all, you need to know moral system. You need to know ma'at. You need to know how to be in a form of rectitude and balancement with your fellow man itself. So that's number one. That's key. You need to know what is true, what is just, what is righteous, and actually makes you somebody that is an upstanding member of your community. What is virtue itself? Then from then you then move on to the process of actually stating what you will not do and what you will do. What you will do to be virtuous. Okay, so for example, you will not sleep with somebody's wife. Okay, but you will give food to an orphan, clothe an orphan, somebody who hasn't got for example, somebody's husband or wife has passed away and they can't look after their child. You don't need to for in other societies, you may need to marry that woman. In our society, no, you don't have to marry that woman. You can just simply, or marry that man. You could just simply give to them to help them out. If you have in abundance, give to help people who aren't in abundance. Okay. And then also, when we go into the 42 declarations of innocence, it's usually an initiation that takes place. You enter into the temple school and you learn these different things at a particular age. But to enter, usually at the top of every single temple, or inscribed in, how can I put it? There's usually like chambers and walls that you walk in, but on the side of a wall, there will be these little things that you have to recite. You'll have to say that you're actually a wa'ab, which means that you're clean, you're purified. And there's various different rites to make sure that you're clean and purified. And one of them is the act of circumcision. And as you can see here, yeah, these are grown-ass men, okay? These are grown-ass men. It's not babies at the age of 8 days old. It's grown men, usually boys. If you go into the Dinkas and all those ones, they're 7 years old or 13 years old. When you go into the story of Abraham and so forth, you realize that Ishmael, got his, penis circumcised at the age of 13. The Arabs continued, and the Egyptians are said to continue this practice at the age of 13. Hence we have the whole story of the bar mitzvah taking place inside the Jewish understanding itself. So a particular time when you become a student, okay? When you become a student, one of the words for student as well as the word for teacher is SBA, okay? Which is Seba or Saba, which literally means, if you know, the meta nature again, you have the causative S and then you have the symbol for the ba. Okay, the causative S and the symbol for the ba, and literally means to cause a soul. Okay, cause a soul. Like, what do you mean by cause a soul? And it's talking about, the process of education. The process of education is to actually, Plato and them once said it best, that we actually have all of the knowledge within inside of us. Okay, we have all the knowledge inside of us. We merely need to take it out of us in different teachings that most people, have in their own scriptures, but they're not aware of it because they're not fully taught it. For example, the breath of life, was given to man and he became a living soul. The same thing happened in the Quran, where the breath was also given. Same thing happens in Kemetic teachings. The breath was also given. The essence of the Most High, so to speak, of the Creator was given to you. It's spoken about that Adam was taught all of the names of all of the animals and so forth, okay, from the get-go, from God. In the Quran as well, it says Allah taught him all the names and so forth and so forth. Same thing to do with Kemet and so forth. All of the knowledge is already within inside of us. It's just there, but we're actually in a process of sleep. Okay, we're in amnesia, we're in or we're in a state of sleep, we're in a state of forgetfulness. I'm sure the Bible talks about that. Men forgot the name of the Lord, and in this state they started calling on Yahweh Elohim. Okay, it's showing you that mankind has gone through the process of sleep. Okay, and somebody needs to wake them up. Somebody needs to cause that bar to start arising and ascending and flying as it should do. Okay, and that's why we have something called education. Education is not something where we simply putting things into your mind. That's not what education means. The true meaning of education is from the Latin, which is educare, which literally means edu, to draw. The suffix is re or ere, again, educate. I'm not even going to go there, but it literally means to draw out. Education or educare literally means to draw out from within inside of yourself. Okay, that's the process of actually being educated. It's not simply learning knowledge, but it's simply knowing that all this knowledge is within inside of you, but utilizing a correct method, you can come to this knowledge of knowing the self. Once you know yourself, you know the mysteries of the universe, and you'll know God as well. So these are the concepts that we have. But once you reach a particular age, you would now become a Seba, where you could be inducted into the schools where you'll be taught. But one of the major things you need to do is be circumcised. Just like, the story of Abraham. You circumcised at the age of 99 after going to Kemet and listening to Melchizedek, and Melchizedek then initiated him, if you know about your Jewish scriptures, and taught him the laws and all the things there, and he had to bow down and give his tithes to him and so forth. This is what was taking place. Somebody from the outside had to come in and then be circumcised in order to be given these higher knowledge. You know, you had to be clean, and you have to show that commitment. Yeah, you have to sacrifice something to show that commitment, that you're willing to learn, to actually after you've learned this information, dash it away basically, or defile that information. Do you know how much pain you had to go through just to get that information and not even defile it? You're not going to do it. And again, you have to go through at least 4 different processes of cleansing. There's processes of cleansing by bathing as well. The second, wa'ab. Then you have 3 times wa'ab, which is also to do with taking particular oaths. 4th time wa'ab is also to do with purifying your clothes and having incense and oils be placed upon you. You know, I'm going way too far. I don't want to lose people. But yeah, there was there was these certain things that you have to do in order to become, to learn this certain informations of ethics and be schooled into being just like a nupud, knowing wisdom, or knowing how to understand things and knowing how to be able to discern what is right and what's wrong. Okay, you had to go through that process of knowing what's right and what's wrong, and also knowing ma'at. So technically speaking, you would have had to reach a particular age. You would have had to go through a certain amount of schooling before you would be able to pronounce these words and declare yourself innocent. Because if you don't know what it is to be innocent, what is the point of declaring what it is to be innocent? And from the Kemetic's understanding, if you know better, you will do better. Okay, if you know better, you will do better.
Funny thing, I did it exactly like you say, because I'm circumcised, and I decided to do it at the age of 16. I will not say it's a funny thing, and will not recommend it to anyone, but it was like something like you tell. I decided to do it because I decided to be a Jew. This was the last step, as you want to see, and I decided on my own. So and this in a Jewish tradition, I would say it's like a pact. Something it's you give something away. You have to give something away to go to the next level, as you wish.
There you go. There you go. Real quickly, let me shout out everybody who's inside of the live stream right now. Please, hit the like button, man. Hit the like button, hit the thumbs up, Let us know that you actually appreciate the show, man. You got so many people tuned in right now, and y'all ain't hitting the like button. I know I didn't do no advertisement to let y'all know that I'm on tonight or nothing like that, no hyping or anything. We just went live. But y'all know, man, Wednesdays is the day that if I don't do nothing for you guys, I think something ain't right. So please hit the like button, show the support. Also share this, go onto Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus, YouTube, wherever you can. Share it with the family. I let them know that we're on right now. We're live, and you can ask any question you would like. What I would ask for you to do, if you want to ask any questions, so please just tag Titans TV and then ask the comments inside the comment section. Or if you would like to come on now, I have sent out the link, okay? The link is out there, so if you would like to come on, please just join in on the link. Okay, go ahead, family.
Yeah, sorry. On that note of the whole circumcision thing as well, like obviously, it's not obvious, but I've been circumcised as well, and I was always told that it was a Jewish tradition of circumcising obviously males, so yeah, it's just interesting to listen and to find out the origin of where this practice actually come from and why they actually done it. And I remember having a conversation with a queen in a group once, right, and we got into a little discussion because she was saying that men shouldn't be circumcised because if the Most High or the Creator put it there, then it's there for a reason, and obviously I was saying it made sense. It did make sense, but my argument, my rebuttal against that was obviously it's we got circumcised as a case of cleanliness, as Kalam so eloquently put it, So, but yeah, it was interesting to hear her perception and her of things, So I mean, I don't know what people have to got to say against that. You know, if it was put there at birth or naturally given to us, were we supposed to cut it off? Because obviously we're saying as well, like, I'm not gonna lie, she said that what did she say? She said that, yeah, coming from a female's perspective as well, obviously it's more aesthetically pleasing to look at, you know, as from, you know. So I mean, yeah, I don't know what people think about that, if I made myself clear or not.
I can answer that. I was gonna say, brother, it's the same as the umbilical cord. You know, you did the Most High tell us to cut the umbilical cord of a child? Do you see what I'm saying? Put there, we came with it. So what? Should we just leave it there? Should we have that cord and still be walking around with the cord of our mothers? No. Do you see what I'm saying? And you could use that. You could use that with the same thing. So who taught those people to cut the umbilical cord? Why did they cut the umbilical cord? They must have obviously they must have seen that, listen, this thing needs to go because the child needs to be able to move. Do you know what I mean? They came with that understanding, that idea in their environment. So obviously it's probably to do with trial and error. So possibly the people at that time, whatever tribe it was, they probably saw that obviously it was more hygienic, because maybe they might have been men in the tribe that, or boys in the tribe that, obviously, you know how boys are, well, majority of boys, I won't say all boys, you know, when it comes to washing and bathing, we get a bit lazy. You see what I'm saying? Especially the young boys, we get a bit lazy when it comes to cleaning. You know, your mom and dad's got always shout, young man, did you clean behind your ears? Did you wash this? Did you wash that? Do you know what I mean? So maybe there was things going on where the boys weren't washing thoroughly, because I know obviously I've heard from some of my friends, even they're older, some of them haven't been circumcised, say, oh man, it's so jarring, I got to keep cleaning. I got to pull my foreskin back and wash it because dirt gets stuck in there. Loads of things get stuck in there and it's annoying. I wish I got circumcised. So maybe things was happening in that time where they thought, you know what, to make the situation a bit easier, you know what I mean, circumcision is a bit cleaner, let's just cut it. So I think I think it might have been a trial and error thing, and something that the people in that environment, or wherever they were, thought it was best. You see what I'm saying, for the boys and the men.
If I was to give my input on that, you know, like certain things, I hear you. Know, I hear you. I'm not even gonna argue in no two ways about it. But certain things, you know, for the sake of cleanliness and appearances, we do normally, and we don't just simply stay natural. So, for example, we got it grows hella long, and if you don't cut those fingernails, you can build up a lot of dirt underneath your, you know, underneath your nails, and that can actually lead to infections and diseases and so forth, and make you ill. You know, my beard is looking hella rusty right about now, hella rusty. You know, when you're there, start having, like, you know, what's it called, hair growing on your lip, and then when you're there, it feels uncomfortable. It's not good. You know, when you get that fresh haircut, god damn, you feel good. I feel like a new man. I feel like Zeus came down himself and off Mount Olympus. God damn, I look good. So sometimes, you know, we definitely do need to, you know, do things for the sake of cleanliness and also for the sake of comeliness as well. You know, one has to wonder, where did this practice actually originate from? No, from the writings of Herodotus, that the practice of circumcision, you know, either originated with, he doesn't know, you know, from his era. It says either from the Kemetics or the Shittics. And from either one of those two, the Colchians and the Syrians, or the people, for example, the Hebrews or the Jews living in that area, also got the practice of circumcision from them. But what was the impetus? What was the point of origin that they began to get circumcised? If I was to put forward my hypothesis, and it's only a hypothesis, I'm not going to tell you that this is the honest gospel truth. The hypothesis is this: again, when you're coming into these temple schools, and you want to learn certain information, we know that the founder of these schools is who? Actually, let me ask you, Gabs, who is the founder of all types of temple schools? Let me just see if you know.
What, Jehui, yeah?
Of course, it's Jehudi. And Jehudi has particular animals, right?
Yes, he does.
Do you know them?
Talking about the baboons.
There you go. And if you go in amongst the Igbo people and other groups of people along the Niger Congo society and other people like that, okay, they have a particular form of writing. I can't remember it from the top of my head right now. I know I got one of my uncles telling me how he was the Leopard Society and so forth. But basically, they tell you within inside of their teachings that they learned the art of writing, okay, because they had their own script as well. And who taught them how to write? What animal should if you was to guess right now, Gabs, what animal taught them how to write?
Which one?
Gabs,
The people in the what? The people in Niger. You're talking about? You taught them how to?
Niger Congo. Yeah.
I'd say wouldn't it be the baboons, innit?
There you go, because the baboons have their fingers, they'll making marks on the ground and so forth. And one could surmise that's where the Kemetics, got it as well. The art of writing. Of course, those baboons came down into the south, into or into Central West Africa as well. You have the same baboons. And if you are a person that observes nature, remember when we go into our fifth article in terms of our Kemetic philosophy on Kemetic creed, we have our pedagogy, who teaches us, and we say the first teacher is Medunecha, the divine expression of, or the expression of the divine, or the expression of the voice of nature, which is what we can see around us. Nature teaches us. So once we saw these baboons marking the ground on the floor, we learn the art of writing, of communication. We can see how to communicate. The baboons also taught man, if you see again, in the Kemetic philosophy, you see baboons with their hands outraised like this, two hands outraised, basically doing the dua positions in the mornings, and they're making these noises in the morning. And so for us, and they were facing the sun, and for us, that taught us that in the mornings we should get up and rise and put our hands in that dua position and also offer praise as well. So we see that these things are related to the baboon. Another fascinating thing that's also related to the baboon is that it seems as though were naturally circumcised. Okay, so it could possibly be that these people
sorry brother Kalam.
Yeah,
I'm so happy you got this. I was going to ask you to bring it up because one of the brothers, someone called Simon James, in the chat room just before you put that up, said every other animal has a foreskin without cleanliness. You know what I'm saying? And then you just bam, put that up straight away one time. You know what I mean?
God damn, that shit's working through us. So yeah, so we can see that these individuals may have possibly, I'm not going to say this is my hypothesis. I'm not going to tell you it is, because I don't like speaking like that. I like to actually present evidence. So we can see that, we are learning these different things through nature. And it seems as though this was something that was learned through nature as well. And for, we become a baboon. There's two animals technically that we become once we join or enter into these schools. We become a baboon in the east that offers praise, and we also become Anubis or a jackal in the west. Okay, these are the two animals that we become when we enter into these schools of thinking. So quite possibly, this is where the whole concept of circumcision could have arisen from. And not to mention that the name for baboon as well is Baba or Babu or Bubu or Baba, which is Seba. Seba is just a duplicate of the Ba symbol. So you never know. That could be the relation. I would rather do a comprehensive study on it before I actually assert that as facts, though. But it's quite interesting, the correlations. Go ahead, family.
Yeah. Thank you for that. I mean, the whole image with the baboon as well. That was surprising. Yeah, so I'm learning a lot when I'm on this channel. And I don't mean to put her on the spot, but I think we should hear the perspective of circumcision from a female's point of view. So yeah, I don't know if Betty would like to. Is it? Betty would like to say something. Yeah.
Hi, I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Oh yeah. I just wanted to talk about some of the reasons because it's female circumcision and male circumcision predates Islam and Christianity. One of the main functions is to control sexuality, sexual desire. We know in female circumcision, if you cut off the clitoris, I think there's 3 different forms. If you cut off the tip of the clitoris, that obviously then it's not easy to have an orgasm through the clitoris anymore. Obviously, that will control desire. Also, some of the female circumcision sort of they tie it up, they sew it up. I think it's type 3. They will actually sew it up, so that will control sexual desire because you can't get in. Also, the lips of the vagina, and that's trimmed off in type 2 from what I remember. So that's all about controlling sexual desire. And from what I've heard of the men, if you cut off the foreskin, they say it's not that easy to orgasm and you're not as sensitive when you're being circumcised. So that's one of the ancient ways of controlling sexual desire. Obviously, if you're a society where you don't have natural contraception and you don't want the younger people to be procreating outside of marriage, or want to call it, or even things like if you look at, I was watching a documentary and they were talking about Somalia, and Somalia is known for type 3 circumcision. And what they would do, they'd cut off the tip of the clitoris, the vagina lips, and sew the girl up. So if she's going to go 4 nights and 4 days to go and fetch water with a camel, and she's not going to have any man there, there's less chance of her getting raped because you can't get in. And I think that's some of the things that need to be spoken about, because a lot of people that it's not just about, what people about cleanliness. There's a lot more to it. But if you there's a really interesting debate on Hard Talk with 2 different proposals sides. There's one woman from Sierra Leone pro female circumcision, and there's one lady from Somalia being circumcised. And it's a very interesting debate because right now in Africa, there are people debating whether or not you call it female circumcision or whether you call it female mutilation. It depends on whose perspective you're looking at it from. Yeah, so that's, I just wanted to say, because I know, for example, in my tribe, a lot of people are circumcised. A man is expected to be circumcised. That is something my mum would just think is really unclean. It's unheard of. Yeah. Not so much the women. My grandma, I have quite a few female relatives who are circumcised, and we're not Muslims, because I know a lot of people seem to think everything's to do with Islam nowadays, but it's not to do with Islam. It predates Islam. But I think more of the Christian influence in Africa has stopped female circumcision, more of Western imperialism. But debate, because one thing they forget to tell you is when they say they cut off the head of the clitoris, and the clitoris extends into the vagina, so you can't actually cut it off. You can only cut off the tip. If you know the anatomy, there's 2 forms of orgasm that a woman can have: internal, i.e. the G-spot, and external. A bit of misinformation that people need to understand as well. So that's all I just wanted to say. But I'd tell people to check out the Hard Talk debate on female circumcision.
I heard that there's 3 still.
Yeah. So I've got a quick question for Betty. So just to clarify, are you for or against female circumcision?
But because I'm not for female circumcision. Oh, the only type of female circumcision I would agree with is cutting off the vagina lips. That's the only type of form I would agree with. But I think you should be able to do it when you're older, if you choose to. Because if you know anything about sex, if you have many big lips, it can get in the way and it can get quite painful. And some women do. Not all women are the same. Not everybody looks like this so-called porn star that they keep showing you. You know, there's benefits to cutting them, you know, trimming them. Anyway, it's only apparently on the NHS, white British women are having this done.
So,
but it's not widely reported. You can go on the BBC website and they will tell you that they're having it done. The only difference is when it happens to Africans, then all suddenly, like many things, it becomes a prejudice thing. They're taught as uncivilized.
So cutting off the vagina lips would be purely for cosmetic reasons and nothing hygienic at all, or anything on that medical.
No, to tell you the honest truth, it can be hygiene too, because what you've got to remember, if you're suffering from flush or any type of imbalance in the system, what you can find is when it can rub on your skin and you can get chapped down there. So if you've got any type of imbalance in your system, like thrush, any type of vaginal problem, you know, if you have big lips, and also when you're on your period, it can start to cause problems, because what it can happen is it can start rubbing against your leg. So there are benefits to trimming it down. But many times people don't talk about that.
The problem is always when it's done to a child. Yeah. So okay, I've done it but I've done it at the age of 16, so I was free to decide on my own. If there is done to a child, I will. Even it's done in my religion, I call it mutilation of children, and because I know the effect before and after. I can assure all the boys, it does not matter. It does not really matter. It's somehow good, but yeah, if it's done to you without knowing, I don't think it's good.
I mean, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here as well, because I'm against female circumcision myself. But coming off what Pio said. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you said it's okay for a male, a young male, to get circumcised, but it's not okay for a female to get circumcised, whilst being young. I think some people might class that as maybe sexism. Is that correct? How comes it's right for one but wrong for the other? I'm playing devil's advocate, by the way. So.
No, the question is okay. And as usual, I told you I'm an atheist, so there are something about all religions I don't like. And this is the thing I don't like about my own religion. And I have heard some discussions between, you should watch it if you can, between Christopher Hitchens and the rabbi, and this comes up, and this is really fun. But yeah, because I know the effect, you know, I got it before I had sex, and then I have it without it, and I can say it's no problem. Okay, so for me, it was a decision I made. Okay, but if it's done to a child, I hate it, and if it's, I think, when a woman gets her clitoris cut out, it's horrible. And cosmetic or not, but if a woman decides for herself to do it, it's okay, but in none other case.
All right. So go on, Pio having sex before the age of 16. God damn, he was a beast when he was a child, weren't you? And I bet he was having sex with women that was above your age as well, getting all freaky like that. Oh God. Anyways, you know, people, I have to actually close down the show right about now. I think we've gone over the 2-hour mark, clear. Like we've you know, technically these shows are meant to be on phone in 90 minutes, okay, hour and a half. But we're going on for so long these days. We've been hitting up shows for 3 hours and 4 hours. But what I'm going to try to do to make things nice and easy is, if you would like to jump on the panel, this is great discussion. You know, I like this. I like the way that we don't have to bring up, other people into the discussion. We can stick with ourselves and do what we need to do. But what I'm going to do right now is actually share the link inside of the comment section. So if you would like to jump on, please do. Let me see what you're saying. I'm packing and do believe in the hype. I'm right. Y'all funny as hell. Yeah, so if you'd like to join in, please join in, okay? But I want to actually close down this particular show so we can keep it nice and short so everybody else can come and join in as well and view it and feel like, okay, I watched the show that didn't go on for too long. So family, I'm signing out right now. We've got Dow Digital in the building. Dow Digital. What's good, King?
What's good on my bro? Just tired, man.
Buddy, I hear you. You know, unfortunately, we're gonna shut down the show and let's get it popping off air, okay?
Cool, bro.
All right, family. So if you can, share the show, share the link, and let everybody know we was live tonight. We was on Talk with the Titans and we was going in. All right, love, family.